Dun, dun, da, da, dun, dun.
Welcome, marketing chefs. I've got something truly special cooking in the Omni-Channel oven today.
It's Triple Force Friday. I'm going to be talking about The Mandalorian, Rise of Skywalker, Lego Star Wars Fall 2019 sets. Up next, in the Marketing Kitchen.
Welcome to the kitchen, the Marketing Kitchen. Hi, I'm Ron Vining, your host of Marketing Kitchen TV.
It's Triple Force Friday, and as a Lego fan and as a Star Wars fan, I'm really excited to share with you the upcoming Fall 2019 sets from the Rise of Skywalker, The Mandalorian, as well as some classic favorites from Star Wars A New Hope. I hope you'll join me for this overview of the Fall 2019 wave, as well as my highlights and commentary about the state of the Star Wars franchise in general and things we can look forward to in the next 6, 12, and 24 months. What an exciting episode we have today.
Welcome to a panoramic view of the Marketing Kitchen. This is my first time doing a voiceover with slides, but I thought this would be the best way to share with you the exciting content that is on our storytelling stovetop today. And what is that content? Well, it's in honor of Star Wars Triple Force Friday, celebrating The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and now The Rise of Skywalker. There's also 3 IPs that are being launched on Triple Force Friday, which will be a week from the time that I'm posting this video. And those properties are Jedi Fallen Order video game, The Mandalorian, as well as the upcoming film, The Rise of Skywalker, the film that will conclude the Skywalker saga. Speaking of the Skywalker saga, there was a lot of love for the prequels and the original trilogy basically being used as a vehicle to promote the sequel trilogy. There's been a lot of shade given to the fans who adore the character of Luke Skywalker since The Last Jedi, and it's been quite controversial. So it was a good business decision on Disney and Lucasfilm's part to really begin to hype up the prequel trilogy, the original trilogy, as part of the marketing or messaging for why we should all go see Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. And regardless of one's love or hate of The Last Jedi, I'll certainly still be there on opening night to see J.J. Abrams' The Rise of Skywalker. I've been a Star Wars fan since 1977 when I first saw the original version of The New Hope, before it was called The New Hope. There was no such thing as Episode 4 back then when I saw it in the theater. So I've been a fan since day one, and I will remain a fan. All right, let's get into the content of today's video.
The first up is going to be the LEGO Star Wars 2019 Advent Calendar. You can watch my full review up here. I just want to highlight for you some of the key aspects of this particular calendar.
One of the first sets that we had that came out in the fall, came out a bit early, certainly well in advance of Christmas, is the Star Wars 2019 Advent Calendar. These calendars have been going on since 2011, and they originally started out with exclusive prints. For when I say exclusive prints, I mean exclusive minifigure prints related to Christmas. We now do receive exclusive figures in the sets, but they're not exclusively printed related to the holiday season. I've done a detailed video review of this, and I mention it and I share the link in the when you'll actually see me on screen. But you can also find the link in the description for that detailed review. I really like the box art for this year. I think it's a great complement to use as a diorama or as a playset. Just want to highlight for you some of my favorites in here, and that's of course the Christmas build of the Gonk droid. The Christmas porg is cute, but the real standout here is obviously Luke Skywalker. And this is an exclusive print for Luke. This is when he was on Octu, when he was out of his Jedi robes. And we've only received 2 Luke Skywalker figures from the sequel trilogy. One came quite long after The Force Awakens. We received him in the Last Jedi wave, the second wave of The Last Jedi actually. So it's great to receive another Luke Skywalker. He really is at the heart. I guess it's arguable about whether the real star of the trilogy is Anakin Skywalker or whether it's Luke Skywalker. But Anakin is the character that spans, or should span, all 3 trilogies. But second only to Anakin is his son, Luke. This is great to receive this exclusive print.
Let's start with the original trilogy. If you're a fan of Tatooine, you'll be excited about the sets coming in 2020, which will be Luke's land speeder, as well as for the very first time, Obi-Wan Kenobi's home. Let's take a look at those.
Other sets that we have coming up that were released at Comic-Con, or not released, were previewed at Comic-Con, are coming to us in 2020. I thought I'd share them with you now, only because they were teased to us. And I find it interesting that there is going to be a big emphasis on Obi-Wan Kenobi in 2020. We're also getting an Obi-Wan Kenobi set in 2019, and I'll highlight that one in a moment. But here we have two sets. One is Luke's land speeder. We have a number of Luke's land speeders released over the years. The model continues to improve, and this may be the best build yet. Unfortunately, it relies upon stickers more so than prior sets, but that really does add a higher level of detail. I'm not sure what this is supposed to be, this little build here, but I'm guessing it is the alcove that R2-D2 would hide in when he is coming. I'm guessing that it's the alcove that R2-D2 hides in when he's found by Obi-Wan Kenobi. That would be my guess, anyhow. Which brings us to Obi-Wan Kenobi, and we finally are getting his house on Tatooine, where the iconic scene of Luke being handed his father's lightsaber, where R2-D2 reveals the message of Princess Leia, saying, "Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope." We get two really cool exclusives in here. Can't tell if the printing for Obi-Wan is unique or not, but I believe that the two real highlights of this set are the Jedi training probe, which you can see on the left, and then of course a hologram of Princess Leia. So that's one new exclusive print and one new exclusive mold that I'm aware of. But these will be coming out at the end of December or beginning of January 2020. So just really, really cool set. I'm excited for this one. The land speeder not so much, but this one's quite cool.
If you're a fan of the Death Star, you'll really like this upcoming set, which is a bit of a rehash of the Death Star, as well as a battle pack that we received, looking at the turbo lasers from the Death Star, as well as Obi-Wan Kenobi for the first time in a standalone set, being able to disable the tractor beam.
All right, this is what we are getting in the 2019 wave, and again, it's Obi-Wan Kenobi, and this time he's in the Death Star. This is the Death Star cannon. I believe it's called a turbo laser. We've seen the Death Star cannon in 2 Death Star sets, and we've also seen it in a battle pack. And here we have it in a smaller build set, and it's quite cool. I like this. It has the Death Star cannon, and it also has the tractor beam controller that Obi-Wan Kenobi shuts off so that the Millennium Falcon can escape the Death Star. This is a brand new Obi-Wan Kenobi figure. He has a new print, and he has a new hood. And all the figures, I believe, starting this year, have that new hood piece. So quite interesting. The Death Star Gunner, who was easily one of the most requested minifigures, because he had been missing for many years, finally came out in a battle pack that had the same type of cannon. And then he was found in the update to the Death Star, and is quite readily available now. So I don't believe there's anything exclusive about that figure. But this is a fun set. I look forward to including that in my Super Death Star, which I will be filming a video for sometime before the Rise of Skywalker comes out. And there's that exclusive print for Obi-Wan Kenobi and his hood. And I don't believe that I believe that this is the only time we're seeing him. I'm not certain if the print, I didn't match up yet, maybe you have, whether the sets for 2020 feature this version of Obi-Wan minus the hood and the cape.
Keeping with the trend of Star Wars A New Hope, your collection would not be complete without a UCS Star Destroyer. And it's not this one, it's one that's a heck of a lot larger.
A next set that has already been released for VIPs, will be widely available for everybody else, is the awesome UCS Star Destroyer. I'll leave a link in the description of my more detailed review of this, but this is just a massively impressive model. Yeah, it is $700, but it is massive. And even though it has less bricks than the UCS Millennium Falcon that was $800 that came out 2 years before it, this is actually a much larger overall build, just due to its construction and the type of pieces that are there. The greebling on it is fantastic. It really is an impressive model with some really cool features to it. it just is. I'm going to have to get a hold of this one, and I'm not sure where I will put it, however, because it really is massive. The UCS Millennium Falcon, which was on display for a while, has sort of now been tucked away. And the problem is that this will be on display for a while, and then it will also get tucked away. And then they collect dust, and I don't know, Lego, I appreciate models of this size, but I don't know, it becomes difficult for a fan to continue. I'm not sure what they will do with sets of this size, but just quite impressive. And here's the mini build of the Tantive 4, or the Rebel Blockade Runner. Nice model. I still think the best version of this can be found in the Buildable Planet series, and regrettably I didn't buy that particular one, and I really regret that because it was not released globally. The Lego decided to cut its losses on these Buildable Planet sets that weren't selling so well, and it was only released in Asia, and I live in Asia, and I was unaware of it at the time. At that time I was only collecting the Empire. And so anyway, I really regret that I didn't get that. But this is a cool build. But that build, and you could go to Bricklink and build that version of the Tantive 4 yourself. But I think that's the best mini build of it to date. These two exclusive printed figures are absolutely fantastic, and I encourage everyone to add these to their collection. I know I can't wait. The arm printing on the figure to my right is just fabulous. I really like it.
If you're also a fan of classic Star Wars, I think you'll be as excited as I am for the upcoming Disney Plus TV series, The Mandalorian. There we'll be receiving an AT-ST, not this version, one I'll show you in a second, as well as a figure reminiscent of the Boba Fett prototype going back to the holiday special in an upcoming Mandalorian set. Let's take a look at it.
Let's talk about The Mandalorian. This is an amazing, or appears to be an amazing, new TV series brought to us by Jon Favreau, the star of Iron Man, also director of Iron Man. Happy Hogan is just a fun character, so we've seen him in the Marvel franchise. He was the director of Jungle Book, a really cool movie, The Chef, as well as this year's The Lion King remake. But this was his idea, this series. He pitched it to Disney, and I'm quite impressed with it. George Lucas has been on set. Dave Filoni of the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels fame, a protege of George Lucas, is directing as well. And I think that this is going to be one of the first real olive branches to the legacy Star Wars fans that haven't been feeling the love from Star Wars since Disney acquired the brand. So we'll see, but it looks quite promising. The first set from The Mandalorian, and the only set that we're getting this year, there's a rumor that there will be one in the January wave, but the first set that we'll be getting is this AT-ST Raider. And it looks cool, but unfortunately, and you'll see I'm going to begin this commentary, we have a lot of same but different. This Raider, while the printing and coloring is different, is almost, not totally, virtually identical to the one that we received in Rogue One a couple of years ago. And that's not a bad thing, because that build was fantastic, but I don't know, it's too soon and too similar. But let's take a look at the minifigures, because that's why I'll be purchasing this. I will certainly be, so we have two what appear to be Weequay related figures. We have the Mandalorian sidekick, and of course we have the Mandalorian himself. And I like the cape, I like the printing, and his gun. I really would have liked Lego. Jon Favreau took the time to really research the character and the lore, and the Star Wars Holiday Special that came out in 1976 featured Boba Fett. Sorry, in 1977 featured Boba Fett, and yeah, he had this weapon that's featured in The Mandalorian. I would have liked to have seen Lego make the brick build version of the weapon, as opposed, or not a brick build version. I would have liked to have seen Lego actually mold the Mandalorian's exclusive rifle rather than make this. On my Instagram, I've made my own mock of this rifle, and I think it's a bit more accurate than Lego's version. So check out my Instagram profile for some pictures of that if you're interested. But anyway, quite cool. I'm excited to get this figure and add him to my Mandalorian collection. All right, continuing with sort of classic sets, we have Yoda. And this is an odd entry, but it continues the large-scale R2-D2 and the BB-8 and the Porg. Now we have Yoda. Again, this is not the first time that we have this type of model, but this one is certainly much more detailed. And there's rumor that a Dio is coming out next year. If you're not sure or don't know who Dio is, I'll be showing you him in a little bit, him or her. But anyway, new droid from the Rise of Skywalker. By the way, this is cool. I really like the lightsaber. I saw a review of this online already, and the lightsaber is just really cool. I mean, this is a fun figure. This is a fun build, rather. I don't collect this series, though, so it doesn't have the same appeal for me as it may have for others. I'm guessing when I get older, I'm going to, I don't know how much older, I'm going to regret having not started with the R2-D2 and the BB-8, the Porg, and then Yoda and other figures that continue. But again, these are things that just take up a lot of space and just doesn't have the same appeal for me. While there are no figures coming out for this yet, I anticipate what's been listed on some of the rumors for the spring are a first order battle pack. I suspect that either so we have two battle packs that are rumored for spring. One is a Mandalorian battle pack, the other is a first order battle pack. I wonder whether one of those will actually be reflective of the characters from Jedi Fallen Order instead. We have a really cool Inquisitor. We have some really cool Order 66 shock troopers, or I'm not exactly sure what the name of the characters are, but they're there on the poster. And I think it'd be really cool if we could get a battle pack related to that, just like we have for Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2. We've seen battle packs for each of those over the past couple of years. So I'm guessing we'll be getting one for Jedi Fallen Order as well too. I'm just not sure whether that will be in place of or in addition to the rumored Mandalorian battle pack and the rumored First Order battle pack coming in 2020. But this gives us an opportunity to get some new minifigures and probably some new build. But yeah, it'd be great if the game's really good and popular and generates some sets. Because I like getting unique figures and unique sets from LEGO, as opposed to rehashes like what we're getting with the AT-ST Raider. Also, just talking about upcoming properties that are not the Rise of Skywalker film ones. Star Wars Resistance. It comes out next week. It is in Season 2, which unfortunately happens to also be the final season, but I understand why. I've actually done a YouTube video on that, and I will leave the link in the description talking about the Star Wars Resistance sets that came out last year. Or wait, was that last year or was that this spring? All right, anyhow, we only received 2 Star Wars Resistance sets, and unfortunately I think those may be the last 2 sets, but I've done a review of them, and I've also talked about what role Resistance plays in the Star Wars franchise. It really does a nice job of setting up the events of The Force Awakens, which no one bothered to do in The Force Awakens film itself, and brings us to the sort of climax of The Force Awakens with Starkiller Base knocking out the Resistance and knocking out the New Republic. And I'm assuming this series will take us through the events of The Last Jedi, which happened like over 24 boring hours, and then will bring us up to The Rise of Skywalker. So I'm really excited for this. I really enjoy the writing in this, and I just want to give a shout out to Brandon, who's the writer and producer of the show. I think he's doing a fantastic job. So I don't know if he watches my videos, but 2 thumbs up to you. Really cool. I'm excited for this show, and I hope that it spawns a couple of more sets, because we didn't get all the vehicles that I think, or figures even, that I think we should get from this. I'm really excited for a return to the Clone Wars. The show prematurely received the axe from Disney, and I'm excited that it's coming back. I'm excited to have Dave Filoni get his chance to wrap up this series. And I think we'll get some really cool Lego Star Wars sets out of this as well. Throwing in some extra love here. I love the original Star Tours. I think the original Star Tours attraction is great. I'm certain with the release of Galaxy's Edge, well actually, I'm not certain. I would have thought if Galaxy's Edge had been as successful as it had originally, when I say Galaxy's Edge, for those who aren't familiar, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, the theme park, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, the land rather, inside of Disneyland in California, as well as inside of Disney Hollywood Studios in Orlando. That massive $1 billion per land, 14-acre land with 2 attractions to date, just has not hit the same. I don't know. I think it looks amazing. I haven't had a chance to go yet because I'm here in Singapore, and when I travel to the USA, it's usually quite busy and rushed, either seeing family and friends, doing errands, or working. So I haven't had a chance to really have a holiday there, but I look forward to checking out Galaxy's Edge once Rise of the Resistance opens. But anyway, the original Star Tours. I would have thought that this attraction's days would be numbered, but I think that because this contains love for the prequel and original trilogy, that it will remain. If they decide to take Star Tours out of the theme parks, I'd love for it to find a new home in Galaxy's Edge. Both Galaxy's Edge have space allotted for them for a third attraction. The motion simulators of Star Tours do not take up a large footprint because they were originally designed to be added into Disneyland, which didn't have a lot of space to begin with in the Tomorrowland area. So I don't want to see this attraction go. I think it should remain. I think the one in Hollywood Studios should definitely remain with the amazing frontage. But sorry, this is a Lego video. Why am I talking about Star Tours? Isn't it about time that we received a build of the Star Speeder, as well as a build of the original Captain Rex? Of course, R2-D2 and C-3PO can be there, but could we get new versions of them specific to Star Tours? I just think it would be great. This could be a small build, Star Speeder, Rex, R2-D2, C-3PO, all exclusive minis. And this could be exclusively sold at Shop at Home, which is Lego's website, or it could be sold at Disney properties or on Disney.com and on Lego Shop at Home. I just think that this would be a great way to pay homage to this attraction as well as to the fans of it. And let's immortalize that in Lego. So I'd like to see this as a Lego Ideas set, but of course it can't be because it's Star Wars IP, which I'm still quite baffled by the fact that we can have Lego Idea sets of Disney properties, like Disney theme park properties, but we can't have one for Star Tours, but that's a theme park property. So, all right, anyway, somebody please make this happen, either at Lucasfilm or Disney parks or Lego. I'd love to see that. Talking of Galaxy's Edge, if it's a great opportunity to have Star Tours as merchandise to be sold in the Disney theme park, then of course, why not make Lego sets related to Batuu? We could have a Batuu playset, we could have a Smuggler's Run attraction playset, and we could have Rise of the Resistance playset, or related to the vehicles. There's a really cool TIE Echelon, which was supposed to be in the Rise of Skywalker. It was designed by Colin Trevorrow for when he was originally directing the Episode 9 film, but I guess it will not be. It was in production at the time, so Lucasfilm used it for the park, but I'd love to see a set of that. Anyway, we could have some cool exclusive sets from Galaxy's Edge. So again, Disney parks, Lego, Lucasfilm, make that happen. All right, I think this is all great leading into what everyone's most excited about, or hopefully they are anyway, and that is the upcoming film to close out the Skywalker saga, which is The Rise of Skywalker.
Now let's start talking about Rise of Skywalker. We will be getting an A-Wing. Oh wait, not this A-Wing.
The Rise of Skywalker. We've received some interesting poster art for the film so far. Not a lot's come out yet, though. Some of these are fan-made or not officially released yet. But I think we've got some promising IP here in this film for several waves of sets to come out. And let's talk about the first wave. All right, the first set that we get is an A-Wing. And I've noticed a lot of people talking about, oh wow, it's so cool that we finally get a green A-Wing. Really? I have two gray A-Wings already. One came with the Home 1 playset from a long time ago, but it's a beautiful build. It's also green and white, certainly not as modern as this one. And we did receive a gray and green one for the Star Wars Rebels line. It was a 2-pack. It came with Darth Vader's TIE Advanced, as well as with the Star Wars Rebels variant, which is a bit different of a build than what we saw in Return of the Jedi. And of course we received a Return of the Jedi version of the A-Wing, which is where it first debuted, and that variant, however, is white and red. But anyway, I'm excited for this. This is obviously a more futuristic, more modern version of the A-Wing because it appearing in the Rise of Skywalker. We have so two cool minifigures in here. I'm not exactly certain whether or not Snap is exclusive. We did get what I thought was the exclusive Snap in a microfighter at the time of the Force Awakens, leading into the Last Jedi waves, and I thought he was exclusive, but maybe he still is, or maybe this is the same Snap in here. We do get Carrie Fisher's daughter, however, and I think that is one of the key highlights of this particular set. And I mean, I really like the build here. I think it's really nice. Snap is a great figure if you didn't get a chance to pick up that microfighter, or if he's exclusive, that's great that there is now two variants of him. Can't confirm that yet at this time. But this is an exclusive and new figure, and I am a minifigure collector, so you know that I'm totally excited for this.
Continuing with our review of the new Rise of Skywalker sets, let's take a look at this desert skiff. Oh wait, not this desert skiff.
In the same with different category, we have the Pasana Speeder Chase. And this is a skiff of some kind, again reminiscent of Return of the Jedi. This film has a lot of reminiscent vehicles, and so LEGO has a lot of reminiscent sets here. And we have three anyway, exclusive figures. I haven't compared the printing on BB-8 up close yet, but we did get an exclusive BB-8 in the Resistance sets. He's a different variant from The Force Awakens and from The Last Jedi. I'm not sure if he's included here as well. But we do get three exclusive figures here, and let's take a look at them because they're quite cool. The speeder's nice. I like the coloring. I will buy this, but I won't build it. I buy just about every LEGO Star Wars set, but most of them stay in the box. I just extract the minifigures. I'll probably extract that bike though. I like that tread speeder there, which is pretty cool. The mini build's nice. I like that for play feature. I think that is quite interesting. But the highlight for me anyway is this Jet Trooper. That's a completely new print, a new mold for the helmet. The jetpack is new mold as well too. I like that a lot. Very nice. Again, sorry, going back, the print obviously for Rey is good. It would have been nice if we could have had printed arms for Rey. If you take a look there, she's sleeveless, but if you look in the trailer, she does have some fabric on her arms. I don't know why we couldn't get that here. We get printed figures in non-Star Wars sets all the time at low price points. I don't understand why we can't get arm printing in mainline sets for the Star Wars theme. It really bothers me. The print for the trooper here is new, so this is not just your regular first order trooper. He has exclusive printing also, so quite cool.
Well, beginning to sense a trend for the Rise of Skywalker sets for the fall of 2019, let's take a look at the Y-Wing. Wait, not this Y-Wing.
Continuing with the same but different, we have a new Y-Wing Starfighter. But again, this is a Resistance variant. So it is quite different than the Rogue One version that came out a couple of years ago, which was a stunning build. I think that Rogue One Y-Wing captured the essence of the UCS Y-Wing, but in a system-size set. And this looks beautiful as well too. And in fact, I think this improves upon the yellow and white Y-Wing that we received just a couple of years ago from Rogue One. The key highlight here, of course, are the minifigures. The play features of this are really nothing new, so new minifigures are something to highlight. This snowtrooper, the printing appears the same as snowtroopers we've received before, so I'm not 100% certain if this is exclusive. New is the cape, so that technically does make it a variant. We get a new Poe. He looks great in relation to the source material that I've seen from the trailer and other print material that's come out, so it's quite nice. This astromech is an exclusive color, but is nameless. And then here is our first image of Dio, and this is a new droid who's a companion to BB-8. I'm assuming that this would be the R2-D2 if BB-8 is taking on the role of C-3PO, just in size relation to each other. Just want to highlight, I don't have a zoom in of Zori Bliss right here, but this is a character who is presumed to be, she's an associate of Poe's. Is she a bounty hunter? Is she Rey's mom? No one knows. Well, people at Lucasfilm do. People at Reddit appear to, based upon all of their leaks that they have.
When we're talking about Rise of Skywalker sets, most fans are excited for Kylo Ren's command shuttle. But not this one, but one quite similar, or one that's actually more accurate to the film. Let's take a look at it.
Kylo Ren's shuttle. Again, going back to the same but different, we are getting an almost identical set to the one received during The Force Awakens. However, there's two primary aspects that make this set different. One, it's black. The one that we received a few years ago was gray. Two, this is actually representative of Kylo Ren's shuttle from The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and now Rise of Skywalker. At the time that LEGO built and released the set for The Force Awakens, they were working off of prototype art, and the wings of Kylo Ren's shuttle did not open up into a V like this one does, so that's why that set does not. That one had foldable wings at the bottom, which this does not, and that was dark gray, and this is black. So it's not LEGO's fault, but I'm actually quite happy that that happened. I don't know why everyone was so critical about it before, but I'm happy because I have an exclusive Kylo Ren shuttle that will never be replicated again by LEGO. And then we'll have this version, which we will probably see as a UCS set 10 years from now. I guess it all depends upon how successful The Rise of Skywalker is at the box office as well as in fans' hearts. Let's take a look at these cool figures that come from this. Again, this is how it opens up into the V, which, as I mentioned before. And what do we have here? We have some cool figures. We have two Knights of Ren, we have General Pride, we have a Sith Trooper, we have a First Order Trooper, and of course we have Kylo Ren. The Sith Trooper is great. What a beautiful print this is. This is now our second red trooper, if you will. In the Star Wars Resistance sets, we have a TIE Advanced pilot, if you will, and a TIE Interceptor pilot, and Von Reg's TIE Fighter. But this is now our second red figure, well, beyond having Praetorian Guards. I'm guessing this will not be our last red trooper. Here's Kylo Ren with his reconstructed helmet. I think the red printing on there is great. I think his body print is nice. I don't believe that this Kylo comes with a hairpiece, which is kind of sad if it doesn't, because you want to expand that play feature. I really like the old masks, by the way, that used to have a cutout on them. We had that with the original Boba Fett, Jango Fett, the first Phase 1 clone trooper. We had that with the Phase 2 clone trooper. I like that feature. That would add dimension to Kylo's set if they had done that. And then, because if you're not going to give a hairpiece, then Kylo Ren's head might as well be black. All right, anyway, I digress. What's really cool about the old Kylo Ren's command shuttle is the fact that we received an exclusive Kylo Ren in there with a hooded piece with the mask printed onto a Lego head. And so I think that will forever remain an exclusive, and it's cool. I enjoy receiving exclusives. Here's General Pride. Alliant General Pride, I believe, is the official title. Here's one of the two of the Knights of Ren. I look forward to a battle pack that potentially contains all of the Knights of Ren, or maybe we'll see them sprinkled about in other sets. I'm excited that they finally will get more screen time, and I'm excited that we finally received them in Lego form.
It would seem that no wave is complete without including a Millennium Falcon, and this year is no exception. We will be getting an all-new Millennium Falcon, which is good, I guess, because going back the past few years, we've had a UCS Millennium Falcon, we've had the Force Awakens, we've had the Kessel Run. We've had a lot of Millennium Falcons, but let's take a look at the new one, which I am impressed with, because for the first time in a long time, it's not going to open up the way this one did. It's actually going to be quite different. So why don't we take a look at those pictures?
What would the wave be? And I said before, it wouldn't be complete without another Falcon. And good thing that that rectangular radar dish fell off in The Last Jedi, so that we could now go back to the circular radar dish and create a whole new Lego set with it, right? Here we go. What's cool about this set beyond its minifigures is the fact that, Lego actually took the time to redesign it. So if you look in the top right-hand corner, you'll see that the Falcon has 4 quadrants that will rotate out as opposed to lift up, sort of like the clamshell approach that they have used going back to the second Millennium Falcon that they put out during the time from the Empire, inspired by The Empire Strikes Back. But we've seen in the Force Awakens version of this, and in the Kessel Run version of this, and I believe in an update in between the Force Awakens and the Empire one, this same approach. Here we have a completely new approach. They didn't do anything exciting with the interior, unfortunately. I would have liked to have seen Lego push that boundary a bit, but I see that the effort was spent on redesigning to make this look more rounded, have less gaps, which people complained about, which I didn't feel was really a big issue. But I think Lego knew that if they didn't dramatically change this model, then it wasn't going to sell so well. So this even entices me, someone who has more Millennium Falcons than I do, I don't know, certainly food in my house at the moment, that this anyway entices me to go out and buy it. Let's talk about the minifigures. We have our first version of old Lando. He actually doesn't look too old to me. So Billy D. Williams in Lego form. Well, in real life you've held up well, but you're holding up even better in Lego form. We have Finn, we have Chewbacca, we have a new character, we have C-3PO, who, could we please, Lego, can you please give us a printed arm C-3PO? In a poly bag, you gave us a printed arm C-3PO, but he has the red arm. Can we have printed arms? Could you have at least given us the Sith Eyes version of C-3PO? It wouldn't have been a spoiler, it would have been great, but no, we don't. We have our same old C-3PO. And even worse, we have the same old R2-D2. Can we please have printing on the back of R2-D2? Can we please get a third leg for R2-D2? Lego, come on. The same but different is getting old, Lego. It really is. All right, I do love the build of this Falcon, though. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to have a new build for the same old ship. Here it is. Again, it's more round. It's more authentic. I think it's nice. Here's the back. More round, more authentic. Again, it's nice. The gun turret is new too, which is good. Some stickers on it are new. Obviously the dish design is new. The engine coils are a new design, and I like them a lot, especially if people like to add light functions to it. You could really illuminate that, and that's pretty cool. Here's Chewie and Finn. Finn, we finally get a Finn, other than the back-to-tank Finn that came with the book lab, the DK book that came out this year. We actually get a new print for Finn, not in Poe's jacket. So I bet Finn is excited. John Boyega is excited to have more characters of himself. He deserves it. Again, I don't even want to look at that R2-D2 until Lego fixes it. Here's Dio in a more expensive set. I think Dio's cute. I think this mold is cool. It's a single piece. They could have made it a two-piece build, but I think they wisely just made it a one-piece build. And he's smaller than, I think this is the smallest, maybe Salacious Crumb is, but this is one of the smaller Lego Star Wars minifigures to date. Here's old Lando. See that those a little bit of gray on him there. He has an interesting weapon. I wonder if that's his gun or if that's the Wayfinder. But anyway, I'm not sure who this creature is on the far right. But looking forward to getting this set and these exclusive, at least for now, minifigures. Excited to, I like that J.J. Abrams, or the costume designers at Lucasfilm, decided to tie in Lando to the Solo Star Wars story by having Lando have a similar outfit to the one that was worn in Solo. I like when someone takes the time to tie in the franchises, or to tie in the films and the franchises together. It really shows respect for the fans and for the story.
No LEGO Star Wars wave is complete without some form of premium with purchase. This year, I hope we will be getting the rumored Obi-Wan Kenobi retro polybag to go along with the 20th anniversary figures that came in this spring's sets. And in addition to Obi-Wan, if you're a fan of Return of the Jedi, or you are a fan of droids, I've got some cool ones to show you as well.
All right, here are some LEGO Star Wars Rise of Skywalker sets that I haven't featured or haven't been as widely talked about. And I think that the bricks heads are quite fun. This is the first known set for Rise of Skywalker, containing the Sith Trooper and Supreme Leader Kylo Ren. I think the bricks heads are a lot of fun. They replaced the buildable figures that we had for several years that didn't sell well. I'm very disappointed that the buildable figures were discontinued. I'm disappointed the buildable planets were discontinued and replaced by microfighters. But I hear that Bricks Head is on its way out, or it's been rumored to be anyway, so we'll see if we continue to get these. Not something I collect, but I just thought I'd share with you, continuing with the theme of Rise of Skywalker sets. Another line that I don't collect, and I have no interest in collecting, are these busts. And here is a new Sith Trooper one. It came out during Comic-Con. It was an exclusive, but then it's also available at Target. There are just the two different boxes for it. I believe there's different box art for it for Target as well too. This bust, it continues in the line of Stormtrooper as well as Darth Vader. And then there's rumor that we'll be getting two more busts in 2020, being Boba Fett and being, oh, what was the other one? I forgot now. All right, but anyway, here's a picture of the bust. These are a bust for me, not something that I'd collect, but I could certainly see somebody in their home or in their office like showcasing the large size R2-D2 Yoda, and then also featuring these busts. Not something that I don't know, wasn't built for me. Doesn't appeal to me, but it's a nice build. I appreciate the attention that the LEGO Master Builders put into creating these sets. Let's talk premium with purchase. Is this going to be a premium with purchase, or are you going to actually purchase this at the store? The reason I ask is this looks like a retail packaged box. It does not look like the same type of packaging that the Hoth 20th anniversary set came in. This looks like, it doesn't look like it's resealable. It looks to me like retail packaging. So it remains to be seen whether this is a premium with purchase or whether or not this will be something you'll have to buy in the store. I don't love these. I don't love the Hoth one. I like minifigures. I would have liked to have seen, just like they did with Harry Potter, I would have liked the Battle of Hoth one to have included an exclusive Rebel Trooper or an exclusive Snow Trooper, or even a Rebel Pilot, again going back to, or an AT. How about giving us an all-new ATST driver? We could receive an all-new ATST driver for both of these sets, but I would have liked to have seen something exclusive added to this beyond the build itself. But this is rumored to be premium with purchase for Force Friday, but there could be other promos that have been out in the wind or in the wild that could be released as well too. And the fact that this set, by the way, leaked with the Rise of Skywalker sets, Mandalorian, and the Death Star canon, makes me think this is retail and not premium with purchase. I think the premium with purchase is going to be a polybag, and I'll share that with you in a minute. But this is fun. We got the two ATSTs. We have the shield generator bunker, and then this, obviously these would be stormtroopers surrounding what would be Chewbacca and Han Solo at the bunker. But I mean, the iconic scene at the bunker surrounded are Han and Leia, R2-D2. Maybe the two brown stacks aren't supposed to be troopers. It's supposed to be an Ewok. But anyway, fun build. I like it. Just would love to see it contain a minifigure. This is the polybag that I believe we'll be getting for the launch of the Rise of Skywalker sets. This is an exclusive Obi-Wan Kenobi 20th anniversary. He goes along with the yellow classic figures that we received in the 20th anniversary sets that came out in spring. I think he's a fantastic companion to that. I think this would be an attractive premium with purchase for the launch of the Rise of Skywalker sets. I was quite surprised there was no premium with purchase for the UCS Star Destroyer that came out earlier this month. I guess Lego assumed that everyone would just sign up for that and not wait. I decided to wait. Another premium with purchase that is already out now is this Droid Commander polybag, and this goes along with the Boost set. This is the polybag that is already out. It's exclusive to buying the Droid Commander set, which is $200 in the US, which is not cheap. So it's the only way you can get this polybag at the moment. And these three builds here, which are quite fun, of a mouse droid, of R2-D2, again, a non-exclusive R2-D2, the same printing, no third leg, come on Lego. And then this Gonk droid, and this Gonk droid is inspired by the battle Gonk in Solo, a Star Wars story. But I really like the new version of the mouse droid, like the new version of the Gonk droid. Tired of seeing this R2-D2. I mean, it's a beautiful R2-D2, don't get me wrong, but it's just time that R2-D2 get updated. And in addition to the 20 years, and I'm not sure why this is on here, this really has nothing to do with that. In addition to that exclusive, semi-exclusive print that is now being watered down because it's being found on other sets, we get these great slopes that remind me of my classic Lego space sets from the late 70s, early 80s. Also, I think I got something, well, maybe I didn't have this in a police station, but I certainly from the space sets. It's great to see this. There's been a lot of retro bricks coming out lately, which makes me think that the Lego space sets might come back. But anyway, that's just a hunch that I have. One that I hope they don't do, because then it's going to make me part with more of my money. And speaking of parting with my money, I parted with $200 US to get this polybag as part of buying this Lego Boost set. And I really wasn't sold on this when I first saw it in the box, but then I saw it at Toys R Us, and then I saw it at the Lego store in action, and it's just fantastic. I've not built this yet, but I can't wait to build it. The one problem I have with things that are app driven, so for example, even the new Disney train that came out, it requires the Lego app to operate the train. These droids will obviously require this app to power them. I have a lot of apps on my iPad and on my iPhone that are dead because the developers don't keep updating the apps to the changes in iOS, and then that makes your toy obsolete. So anyway, I hope that Lego will be good about continuing to update this app so that it works on your device. But it's quite fun. Again, I saw this at the store. You need to swap out the motor in order you can't use all three of the droids at the same time. You need to swap the motor out. I don't actually own anything with power functions beyond the Disney train and then this. So I've not built them yet, but I wonder if I could buy extra of these and run all three droids at the same time. I'll have to check that out. If anybody knows, please leave that in the description. That would be great. I would like to know that. But anyway, fun set. I think it's really cool. It's got 40 missions here as well too, so things that you can task your droids with doing. I'm excited for this. Again, I wasn't at first until I saw it live in the store. So I look forward to building it and playing with it. I have the Sphero, the 4 Star Wars droids, BB-8, R2-D2, an evil version of with BB-9E, and the evil astromech. I don't use them as much as I thought that I would. And I'm guessing after I build these and play with it, I won't use them as often as I probably would. But what I do like is that we're getting an R2-D2, a mouse droid, and a Gonk droid that are somewhat in scale with the buildable figures that have been discontinued. Anyway, I'm excited about that.
I hope you enjoyed my overview of the fall 2019 LEGO Star Wars sets, looking at those for the upcoming Rise of Skywalker, The Mandalorian, and a flashback to the original trilogy, in particular, the film that started it all, Star Wars A New Hope.
Let's talk about Star Wars in general as I begin to wrap up this video here. We've had a number of properties come out, and over 40 years now, and Disney has the reins of this franchise that is just beloved by so many people. Prior to Marvel, and I have a video that I put out, Star Wars versus Marvel. I'll leave the link in the description. But prior to Marvel, there was really nothing, the Marvel film franchise, that is, so the MCU, there was nothing that rivaled Star Wars. There was love for the two Lord of the Rings trilogies, one being The Lord of the Rings, the other being The Hobbit. There was obviously love for the Harry Potter franchise, and then the spin-off with that, Fantastic Beasts. But beyond that, there was nothing that competed with Star Wars. What made Star Wars unique was the myth, the lore, the legend. It really was something all on its own. And because of the way the sequel trilogy treated the original cast, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, and Mark Hamill, the way the actors were treated, the way the Skywalker saga was treated, it is disappointing to see the state of the Star Wars franchise today. I love Star Wars. I've been a fan my entire life. I grew up with it. And as a quick commentary too, Bob Iger in his memoirs that are coming out or is out now, he talks about how George Lucas felt betrayed after he sold Star Wars, or he sold Lucasfilm to Disney, and he sold his story treatments for what should have been the sequel trilogy to Disney, which they ultimately ended up not using. And it's a he said, she said. I think Bob Iger is an amazing CEO. I hold him up as one of the all-time greatest CEOs, so I'm not going to throw any shade at him. But I will say that regardless of whether you told George Lucas or not, so regardless of, again, whether it was you, Bob, I don't know you personally, so I mean no disrespect by calling you by your first name, but I'm a Disney shareholder, so technically we're collaborators. No disrespect to you, Bob, but you, Alan Horn, J.J. Abrams, and especially Kathleen Kennedy, who George handpicked to be the president of Lucasfilm, who had a almost lifetime relationship with, really gave her career as a producer, working with Steven Spielberg on Raiders of the Lost Ark and many other films. The four of you, so Bob Iger, Alan Horn, Kathleen Kennedy, and J.J. Abrams, you had a responsibility to use the story treatments that George Lucas gave you for the sequel trilogy, for the use of the original legacy characters, who at the time of the filming of The Force Awakens were all alive and well. And I would have liked to have seen them utilized differently than they were across the first two films that have come out, being Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. And I would have liked to have just seen George have the ability to conclude his Skywalker saga the way he envisioned it. And after those three films, Disney, you could have done anything you wanted with the Star Wars saga franchise IP after that. That would have been it. Done. Case closed on the Skywalker family. 9 films, done, gone. Disney, do anything you want afterwards. But you didn't. You tampered with that legacy. You tampered with the myth, the lore, the legend, and you didn't understand it. And I think you realize that now. You've somewhat admitted that now. And I see some actions to try to rectify that. And I just hope that Rise of Skywalker atones for that grave mistake, which has really harmed the franchise. It's been negative for the brand. It's been negative to Disney. It's been negative to the fans. It's hurt merchandise sales. It's hurt the reception of Galaxy's Edge. And I think, Bob, I've read that you personally said, I don't want these prequel and original trilogy IP in Galaxy's Edge. I don't want that Star Wars land to be based on pre-Disney Star Wars IP. And I think you've come to the realization that that was a huge mistake. I'll do a video in the future about it once I go to Galaxy's Edge myself, once I get a chance to stay at the Star Wars Hotel, or whatever the name of the Starliner, Starcruiser is called. I'd love to see a Lego set of that, by the way. I really wanted a park based, or an entire park, actually. I think that would have, especially you've got space at other, you've got a potential third gate in Anaheim. You could have done with that. You have larger pieces of property at other parks around the globe. But I would have liked to have seen a standalone Star Wars park based upon the entire catalog of IP. I think we would have liked to have seen a steeplechase coaster that was the speeder bikes in Indoor, or even pod racing. We'd like to be able to be in the Death Star trench and destroy the Death Star. There's just so many things that could have been done that weren't, and that would have been a success if you had based it on legacy IP, not just on, I understand why you did it, but it was a mistake. So going forward, I hope that Disney, Lucasfilm have learned the lesson and will pay proper respect for what came before. I like The Force Awakens, but I don't like the way the legacy characters were treated. I don't like that this film was too much of a reimagining of the original trilogy in one. I wrote great things about The Force Awakens, and this was actually one of my more successful LinkedIn posts. I gave a lot of praise for the film when it came out, and I still like the film, and I encourage you to read it. I'll leave a link in the description, everyone. I have a lot of love for The Force Awakens. Check that out. The Last Jedi, on the other hand, this was, I'm not going to continue to beat a dead horse on there. I'll leave the links in the description for both the article I wrote as well as videos that I've put out. This was a beautiful, visually beautiful, stunning film. Like I watched it at home recently on my 85 inch, whatever, Ultra 4K TV, and I watched The Last Jedi on Blu-ray. Beautiful, but story is trash. Sorry, Rian Johnson, it's trash. This isn't a Star Wars film. Shame, real shame. And again, I have to lay this in your lap, Bob Iger, because when you saw the dailies of this, and I'm assuming that you did, and if you didn't, Kathleen Kennedy, then this falls on you, and you should have alerted Bob to this. You should have had Dave Filoni watch this film and looked at his face, because I'm sure when he watched this film, he knew what the fan reaction was going to be to it, and you should have made an attempt to change it before you released it. Anyway, I wrote, and again, I'll leave a link in the description for this, I wrote about why this really felt like it was a revenge on Star Wars fans, and I'm really so disappointed with this film. This was very divisive, and it just took Star Wars in the wrong direction, and I hope that Rise of Skywalker atones for that. I really do. I'm excited for next week's Triple Force Friday. I hope you are too. I'm excited for the Lego Star Wars sets in particular. I'm sure we'll be getting licensed merchandise to no end like we've been getting for years. George Lucas was a master of that, and it's one of the things that helped the Star Wars brand to grow and to become so successful. I'm excited for the premiere for Season 2 of Star Wars Resistance. And again, Brandon, I think you're doing a great job with the show. I look forward to your next project. Hopefully it will be around the Star Wars IP. Hope it's another animated series. I really enjoy it. I'm excited for The Mandalorian. I've signed up for Disney Plus. I used my D23 membership and I signed up for 3 years. I'm looking forward to Marvel content, and especially I'm looking forward to Star Wars content, as well, of course, as all Disney animation, Pixar, etc. Really excited for The Mandalorian and Disney Plus coming in November. And I'm excited for The Rise of Skywalker. I'm not as excited for this film as I feel I should be. Maybe I need to see a trailer that doesn't troll me, like how the Dark Rey does. I don't know, I found Rey flipping over the TIE Interceptor, Kylo Ren's Interceptor in the teaser trailer, like a yawning, if you could see my face right now, I'm yawning moment. The Dark Rey reveal in the trailer really didn't excite me either too. I don't think it excited. It got a lot of talk, got a lot of buzz. That's not the same thing as excitement. Anyway, I need a trailer that gets me excited for this film, because right now, I'm more excited about The Mandalorian than I am about this, and that's not a good sign. And I love Star Wars, and I'm a Disney shareholder. Looking at the timeline, again, I think Star Wars is going to find a real home on Disney Plus. I think that this could be the opportunity for the franchise to shake off the negativity and really begin to please fans. And we'll see that happen with the Clone Wars coming back. We'll see that with the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. We'll see that with the Cassian Andor series. I'm really excited for a return to the Clone Wars. There's rumor of a solo spinoff. I mean, there is a future for Star Wars. Don't get me wrong. I clearly believe that there is. Just attempts, more than attempts. Action has to be taken to actively bring the fans back into the saga. Just as a conclusion, I want to say that I love all things Star Wars. And I just want the best for the franchise. Disney, I'm putting faith in you. Bob, Kathleen Kennedy, Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau. At the end of the day, Disney, it's about making money. And if you please the fans, you'll make the money. I can guarantee you that. Enjoy your Triple Force Friday. That was fun content simmering on our storytelling stovetop. Back you out of here. And now back to me.
Hopefully I've provided you some interesting commentary about Star Wars in general, the state of the franchise, and things that we can look forward to in the future. While we have a lot of sort of retreads or repeats or same but different sets in the fall 2019 wave, I myself, being a minifigure collector, am really excited about what we'll be receiving in this particular wave, and I'm looking forward to what's coming in 2020. Thanks to Disney Plus, with upcoming properties like The Clone Wars, The Mandalorian, Jedi Fallen Order video game, Resistance Season 2. I'm hopeful that we will get even more minifigures and more sets to expand our LEGO Star Wars collections. Alright, I look forward to seeing you in the next episode, and until then, may the Force be with you. Always.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. Remember, there's always fresh content simmering on our storytelling stovetop. So whatever happens in this kitchen shouldn't stay in this marketing kitchen. I'm Ron Vining, your host, reminding you to invite your family and friends to the next episode of Marketing Kitchen TV.